Hey, everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. Hope you're doing well, and I'm enjoying some much needed time off right now. I swear I am. It's been so relaxing. But I thought I would come back for a second and chill with you guys and talk about our previous president here, Barack Obama. He's still on his movie and music recommendation game. I mean, he kept it up pretty consistently throughout the Obama presidency, and he's still doing it post-presidency to this day. I imagine he has even more time to consume a lot of movies and music now that he is out of government at the moment. And we're just going to scroll down to the music recommendations over here because that is what we over here at this YouTube channel are primarily interested in. He put them last, which I think is a little unfair. I think the music recommendations should come first, as music is the best. But still, we have Barack Obama's favorite songs of the year. Another year of favorite songs from Barack. Let's see what he has picked. Is it good? Is it bad? What's his taste looking like these days? What's the variety? What are we hearing? Let's go. First off, we have Ape by the Carters. Terrible song. I mean, I know Barack is, big fan, both artistically and personally, of Jay-Z and Beyonce. So maybe he's, just doing a little bit of a Jay-Z, Beyonce shout out there. You know what I mean? Because Ape was not a great track. It was certainly not the best track off of the Carters album, which generally was not a very good record at all. So kind of a rough start there. Moving on from there, Bad News by Leon Bridges. Now, look, I'm not hating on the boy. Leon Bridges, he's a talented guy. I just think his most recent stuff has gone a little tote bag. It's kind of like super vanilla, safe, commercial soul music for the NPR Tiny Desk crowd, which is fine if you're into that sort of thing. I mean, generally, I prefer something with a bit more vintage flavor and stank on it. Maybe something more off of like a Daptone Records or something like that. And there are certainly other people out there doing interesting things with soul music, like h.e.r. kind of mixing into post-punk sounds and a variety of other things. There's some good and worthwhile soul artists out there at the moment who are doing even more updated stuff too, making it smoother, mixing it with more elements of jazz and hip hop and so on and so forth. To me, I don't really get a lot out of Leon Bridges' newest stuff, but I can see why other people would like it. Again, dude's a talented songwriter. He certainly does have some songs that I care for quite a bit, but usually his records don't really blow me away. H.e.r. is kind of a breakout artist from this year. I mean, I appreciate the aesthetic and the anonymity and the very sweet and smooth sounds that she drops, but usually her songs don't stick out to me all that much. Considering that he enjoyed this H.e.r. song and probably the rest of the record as well, I'm surprised to see like Ella May didn't make the list over here, because I mean, in that same sort of commercial smooth R&B lane, I sort of prefer her stuff a little bit more, but I digress. We have Ton Misch over here. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but again, more like NPR, Tiny Desk, pop, jazz, soul mixes over here. This next one is actually pretty interesting. Jupiter and Okawes, which I, again, hope I'm pronouncing correctly. This song is actually really killer. I have not heard of this song before this list, but it's an excellent mix of just rock and Afrobeat music. The groove is fantastic. The vocals are really electrifying. The performance overall is great, and it's attached to a wonderfully shot music video too. So shout out to Obama for recommending this track. It's actually a killer track. Brandi Carlile and Ashley McBryde are kind of our two token country recommendations in the Obama list. He usually tries to drop one in there or something. And, as far as modern country goes, you could do way, way, way worse than Ashley McBryde and Brandi Carlile. I mean, two artists that don't necessarily blow me away, but certainly talented songwriters with passionate fan bases who in their brand of country music, you hear actual artistry. It's far and away from the BS formulaic bro country that you hear at most turns on country radio these days. And also, if I'm not mistaken, again, Brandi Carlile did get a nice Grammy nod recently. So, shout out to her. Hopefully I know I wasn't necessarily rooting for her in a lot of categories, but it would be cool to see her walk away with something this coming Grammy Awards. Moving on from there, another artist, Tonina, that I'm not familiar with, but I know the song over here, Historia de un Amor, is not a new track. She's kind of done this very stripped back acoustic, ominous, very forlorn kind of rendition of this ballad that's actually quite wonderful. It's a very beautiful rendition that I haven't heard before this year. So, awesome bomb ass recommendation from Obama on this one. I Like It by Cardi B, which, I mean, yeah, I mean, the song's really taken off this year. I could see why it's so big. It was not one of my favorite songs that was on her latest full length LP, but the tracks mix of hip hop and Latin music and trap and so on and so forth. I mean, I could see why, it sort of ruled the radio in the way that it did. And I think it's an easy song for Obama to kind of hear in passing and be like, yeah, I'm going to give that a nod. Moving on from there, Kevin's Heart by J. Cole, Obama's kind of token woke hip hop pick for this list that, I didn't really care for all that much on the album. King for a Day, Anderson East, Khalid and Normani on Love Lies. Another singer that I'm not really super all that crazy about, as a lot of his vocal lines and just delivery just kind of washes over me, just feels very bland. Although I am very happy to see her Make Me Feel by Janelle Monáe. Killer friggin' track. You guys should already know, one of my favorite singles of the year. I think I named it my favorite pop single of the year. Excellent song, excellent production. And just love the Prince vibes coming through on that track. And speaking of Prince, Barack picks an excellent performance of the track Mary Don't You Weep from Prince's posthumous piano and a microphone record, which I talked about on this channel. Is a great record. A little short, and you definitely are left wanting more, but it's an excellent collection of very raw performances that displayed the incredible amount of talent that Prince had. I do like the Chance the Rapper nod on this list, but this isn't even like the best single that Chance dropped this year. I mean, he had a lot of like Lucy's that dropped throughout the year, and this isn't even the best of them, in my opinion. Though I could see that he would like kind of the more upbeat vibe of it against a lot of the other songs Chance was dropping. Interesting to see Courtney Barnett here, though I am not surprised to see her and kind of another guy like Kurt Vile, again, some more token-like, surface-level garage folk indie tracks that, tend to climb the ranks of sites like Stereogum and Pitchfork. Barack has always been in tune to that scene at least a little bit on some of these lists, so cool to see them shouted out here because they are talented artists, and it is cool that he's kind of keeping in touch with all of that. Nina Cried Power by h.e.r. Love that track. Mavis Staples on that song is fantastic. Really happy to see that Barack is on the the Nina Cried Power train too, because it was a good EP, was a great standout single, did put it on my singles of the year list. BJ the Chicago Kid on here, that's nice to see. Lord Huron on here, that's nice to see. Didn't really care for this J-Rock freestyle all that much though. And Netturini? Yeah, Netturini. I, again, probably not pronouncing that correctly. Excuse me, I can't even pronounce the word pronounce right now. Probably not pronouncing that correctly, but that track I do recommend you try it out because it is a really dope-ass piece of like Afropop with a great beat and awesome vocal lines and some amazing percussion on that too. Just a really nice piece of West African pop and Afrobeat. And also shout out to Nancy Wilson at the very end of his post over here. Rest in peace to her. And that overall is the Barack Obama favorite songs of 2018 list. In the future, would love to see Barack recommend more albums. Would love to see what albums maybe he's listening to all the way through. But, he does sort of strike me as a guy who's probably pretty busy, probably not sitting there and listening to a whole 90-minute Migos project or anything like that, And I'm sure he's heard the rest of the Prince album, you know what I mean? I'm sure he's heard the rest of a lot of these records. I'm sure he's heard a great deal of the Janelle Monáe record. But I would love to see, what maybe albums he's loving from beginning to end over the next year or the year after that. And hopefully going forward, we get more hip presidents who pick out some nice music recommendations at the end of the year. Maybe not Trump though. If I mean we were to go by some of the music picks that were made on like the inauguration party, some of the performances there were awful. But I think I've hit everything here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've hit everything here. And overall, I mean, a lot of good picks. I like the list. A lot of good picks, a lot of variety. Even if it is just kind of a lot of popular stuff, a lot of Tiny Desk stuff, that sort of thing. Even though a lot of this stuff isn't too hard to come by, it is nice to sort of see this kind of human aspect of people in the position that Obama was in, sort of enjoying things like Kevin's Heart and Make Me Feel and so on and so forth. So, all right, cool dad picks over here. And I hope y'all are doing well. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit me up on social media at The Needle Drop or at fantano on Instagram. And there's another video next to my head you can check out too. Also, link to subscribe, hit the bell as well for a notification when we drop a new video, and I will see you in the next one. Anthony Fantano, forever.